The Palace of Versailles, once a symbol of French monarchical power, witnessed the signing of a treaty meant to end all wars on June 28, 1919. The Treaty of Versailles, born from the ashes of the First World War, sought to establish a lasting peace and prevent future conflicts. Its architects aimed to cripple Germany's ability to wage war ever again. However, the treaty's punitive measures sowed the seeds of resentment and instability that would ultimately contribute to another global conflict. It redrew national borders, established the League of Nations, and imposed significant restrictions on Germany's military capabilities. The Treaty of Versailles, rather than fostering reconciliation, created a climate of bitterness and resentment that would have long-lasting consequences. At the heart of the Treaty of Versailles lay Article 231, infamously known as the War Guilt Clause. This clause placed sole responsibility for the First World War squarely on Germany's shoulders. It declared that Germany and its allies were responsible for all the loss and damage suffered by the Allied governments and their people as a consequence of the war. The War Guilt Clause carried with it a heavy financial burden in the form of reparations. Germany was ordered to pay a staggering sum to the Allied powers as compensation for the war's devastation. The reparations payments, intended to rebuild the economies of the victorious nations, instead plunged Germany into economic chaos and fueled social unrest. The economic consequences of the Treaty of Versailles were devastating for Germany. The loss of key industrial territories, coupled with the massive reparations payments, crippled the German economy. Hyperinflation set in as the German government, desperate to meet its obligations, printed vast quantities of paper money, rendering its currency almost worthless. The savings of ordinary Germans were wiped out, and the price of basic goods skyrocketed. At the peak of hyperinflation, a loaf of bread could cost billions of marks. The economic chaos fueled social unrest and political instability, creating fertile ground for extremist ideologies to take root. Extremist movements, both on the left and the right, gained traction as people sought scapegoats for their suffering. The Nazi Party, led by Adolf Hitler, exploited this volatile environment, promising to restore German pride and prosperity. Section 4. The erosion of German pride and power. The Treaty of Versailles imposed severe military restrictions on Germany, aiming to prevent the country from ever again posing a threat to its neighbours. The German army was limited to a mere 100,000 men, and conscription was abolished. The once mighty German navy was reduced to a shadow of its former self, and the country was forbidden from possessing an air force. In addition to military restrictions, the Treaty of Versailles also stripped Germany of significant territories. Alsace-Lorraine, seized by Germany in 1871, was returned to France. Germany also lost territories to Poland, Denmark and Belgium. The treaty's redrawing of national borders created new minorities and tensions in Central Europe, contributing to the instability of the post-war order. The Rhineland was demilitarized, serving as a buffer zone between Germany and France. The Saar Basin, rich in coal, was placed under the administration of the League of Nations, with its coal mines given to France. Section 5. A legacy of bitterness and the path to war. The Treaty of Versailles, intended to create a lasting peace, instead left a legacy of bitterness and resentment that contributed to the outbreak of World War II. The treaty's harsh treatment of Germany, particularly the War Guilt Clause and the crippling reparations payments, created a climate of economic and social instability that allowed extremist ideologies to flourish. The rise of Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party can be directly linked to the widespread anger and frustration over the Treaty of Versailles. Hitler capitalized on the German people's discontent, promising to restore Germany's former glory and overturn the humiliating terms of the treaty. The economic hardships inflicted on Germany, combined with the humiliation of defeat, fueled a desire for revenge and a determination to overturn the terms of the treaty. Hitler's rhetoric resonated deeply with a populace desperate for change. The Treaty of Versailles, rather than preventing future conflicts, served as a catalyst for the outbreak of World War II.